It's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. 6:08 Wednesday, September 7th. 70 degrees, getting up to 86 today and raining. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. We are joined in studio by David Verlardo. He's the executive director of 21 Plus. Good morning, David. How are you?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for.
My God,
that was craziness, right?
Powerful.
That was powerful. No, listen. Thanks for coming in. You know, it's always I always think it's funny when somebody thanks us for the opportunity at 6 a.m. because you know how many people we have to go through before somebody says yes to the 6 a.m. slot. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. I think Kelly said we went through 16 this time before somebody said yes. So
okay.
So
Top
why
20.
don't you? No, that's
Top
not
20.
bad. That's listen. That's all that matters. Why don't you give people kind of an overview of 21 Plus? What's the organization all about? Go ahead.
Sure. 21 Plus, I always say, should be considered a modern day success story. Back in 1979, there were parents who were interested in starting services for their kids aging out of high school who had a disability. They wanted to start a day program that would continue with employment opportunities, volunteer opportunities, ongoing education opportunities. So they actually started here in the basement of the Observer building. They had some volunteer staff. They kicked in about $100, as they say the story goes. And from there, word grew and word spread. Each year that passed, more and more people wanted the 21 Plus Day program for people with disabilities, and they were actually paying private tuition for a while to have their son and daughter come. And then after a while, as everyone grows older, they said that people now needed to live in group homes. So at that point, by 1982, we got in the residential program business as well. Fast forward to current day, as you know, from $100 donation of a budget, we've got about a $7 million a year budget. We've got 13 community-based group homes, 2 adult training centers, Division of Oak Rehab, employment vendorship status, so we can get people real jobs for real pay. We have a family support program that goes into people's homes and help people with their kids, whether it's homework time, taking them to karate lessons, doing some babysitting, long-term like vacation respite, that type of stuff. So we're probably one of the larger maybe employers in Ocean County with about 150 full and part-time employees, serve about 150 clients on a daily basis. And we just try very hard to enhance people's lives every day that we provide services to them.
And so there are other nonprofits that are kind of in your space in this area, right?
Yes.
So what kind of differentiates 21 Plus in your estimation?
Sure. When I'm asked that question, I had a boss many years ago before coming to work at 21 Plus. He likened it to any typical competitor type situation. Let's say the fast food industry for a bit. There's Wendy's, there's Kentucky Fried, there's Arby's, there's McDonald's. You know, when you're hungry, all of them will get you there. They all give you what you need. But each of them have a little different nuance in terms of how they provide services.
Right.
I've been at 21 Plus now the last 20 years, so I know what we do very well. We try to enhance the lives of people we serve on a daily basis. We look at individual needs. We try and get them to help achieve their hopes and dreams. We try to get them to aspire to have valued social status in the community. So I'd say what sets us apart from other agencies that are in our backyard, as you say, is that we really try to take into mind the person's individual's needs as opposed to maybe group needs or larger.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so,
but more importantly, David, so KFC, Wendy's, which is your preference?
I have different.
Just among those two. I mean, because I figure you got McDonald's, you got Burger King.
McDonald's is a go-to for fries. Yeah. Wendy's does really nice with their burgers. I like what they do. Kentucky Fried, of course, if you got to fill that void.
So are you telling me that you may stop at multiple fast food places in one sitting?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Not often, but yes. I've been known to grab fries from one and something from another.
Interesting, which is different because 21 Plus is a one-stop shop, right? So we did there. We tied it all back together to 21 Plus. That was good. So how did you get started? How long you been at 21 Plus?
I've been here 20 years this past February and recently promoted to executive director in May.
Oh, so, from and what position were you in before?
I was the director of operations,
nice.
So I was pretty much the number 2 person in the organization, making sure things run as they're supposed to.
Okay,
so
long time in the organization. So this is so first. So let me ask you this. So you've been doing the stepped up position now or the promoted position, the number 1 guy,
right?
For 4 months, right?
Yes.
So what would you say are the biggest differences between the two roles?
Well, when I was director of operations, I was pretty much the conduit that made our programs run.
Right.
So I'm a program person. If you ask me to create it, build it, solve it, I can do that because that's pretty much what I've done my whole career in this field. Moving up a level, still involved with the programs, but one level, removed.
Right.
So I have a team of directors who are really great that go to work each day and make sure the programs run as they should.
Right.
But now it's become more or less being, their, I won't say mentor, but their guidance, their support, steering them through those situations as opposed to doing it directly. So that's
Cool.
been an adjustment for me.
And also there's that whole other angle, which is like development and all the other stuff. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The business side, like being at the radio station at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, that's great. So it's it's probably a little less in the kind of in the weeds all the time.
Yes.
But a little more in the stress all the time.
Building the business aspect
and everything else.
Making sure, yes.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how did you get started in this space in general though? Because you came here from another program, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about kind of your career arc and how that's worked?
Graduate of Seton Hall University for both undergrad and master's. But many years ago when I graduated from Seton Hall, I was supposed to be a high school social studies teacher. That's what my degree would show. As luck would have it, I was married, and we moved lock, stock, and barrel out to South Bend, Indiana for the next 5 years.
Wow.
And at that point, I took a job which would be considered here in New Jersey an instructor as an adult training center.
Okay.
Working with people with disabilities, teaching them in the classroom, going out community-based training. I just steadily grew from there. I moved on to group home manager from there, then did behaviorist for a little while. By that time, after that 5-year period was up, I'd moved back to New Jersey with my son and my wife. And that's where I started at New Horizons as the family support director. And then when the director of residential services job became available through 21 Plus, it was just natural career progression.
So when you were in school, or this was something you always kind of had your eye on, wanted to do?
Helping people for sure.
Yeah.
Always like helping people, teaching them, trying to enhance their lives.
And where was that kind of imparted in you? Like, was it your parents? Was it like was it the opposite of your parents? I mean, what was the?
No, I'd say my parents were they didn't have much, and what they did, their word was their bond, and how you worked and working hard was who you were, and they impressed upon us daily as kids, because I've got one brother, he's older. And it was, do good work. Don't embarrass the family. Do good work.
Oh, nice.
Simple, simplistic things, but definitely life lessons.
Right.
So, yeah.
So it kind of made you want to give back and really do things for the world.
Yes.
Cool. And so when you were at Seton Hall, they had a good basketball team, right?
They did. PJ Carlesimo was the coach.
Okay, yeah.
We got to the finals a couple years, or to the NC tournament finals 1 year. So yeah,
nice.
It wasn't bad.
So that was a good ride, but you had nothing to do with that.
No, nothing at all.
No,
other than being a fan. That was all.
I just didn't know. I thought maybe you were like on the end of the bench waving a towel or something.
No,
nothing.
Nothing.
You didn't cheerlead. You weren't like the bottom of the pyramid or something.
No, just cheering at Walsh Gym. If you've ever been up there, good old Walsh Gym. It's a nice place.
All right, cool. When we come back, we're talking to David Verlardo, Executive Director, 21 Plus. We're going to talk programs. We're going to talk some of the things that kind of set 21 Plus apart from other organizations kind of that are in this space for people with disabilities. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, back after this.
Get more Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin at our website, WOBMAM.com. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin here with David Verlardo, Executive Director, 21 Plus. So we were talking about, in the break, we were talking about some of the programs that you have going on. So why don't you kind of go through some of the, kind of the newer or the programs that you're the most kind of excited about that 21 Plus is working on?
Sure. Well, as I said earlier, we do operate training centers for people with disabilities come to work to learn work skills every day. We do have group homes where people live. However, the last couple of years, a new business opportunity, for lack of better words, funding has been made available throughout the state that allows people to have personal budgets. So if there's someone living at home with their mom and dad that has special needs, they can call us and ask for a support worker to come into their home, and which was really exciting because to date, over the last 35 years of service, we've just served adults. Now we can go in, the board has agreed, we can move to serving younger people as well. So that will really help us, with the continuum of services for people's families. But we can go into people's homes. We can do daily living skills training. We can do homework time. We can do babysitting if the child is so much younger. We can take them out in the community. We're transportation for people coming, going to and from. Could be karate lessons. Could be Little League. Could be whatever their need is. Taking them to the gym. The other program that we've really tried to ramp up the last 2-3 years is becoming a vendor for New Jersey's Division of Voc Rehab, and that has also opened up who we typically serve for people with disabilities, because before that it would be typically people with cognitive disabilities or intellectual disabilities. Now we can take people with criminal backgrounds, we can take people perhaps with drug issues, we can take people with traumatic brain injuries. So at that point, they would be going through the local DVR office, and they seek referrals to vendors to get them jobs. So we have employment specialists that can interview people, help them with the resume building process, take them out on job interviews. And the great thing is, once they get the job, we also have a period of time to get them adjusted to the work. It's called job coaching, and it helps them become successful on the job. So that's very exciting that we can find people more jobs. So those are the two major programs, newer programs that are better business or newer business opportunities for us.
Very cool, very cool. I wanted to, I kind of wanted to ask you. So you've been with the organization now for a number of years. I think that if people want to get involved, and how would somebody, if they heard about what you were doing, right, and they wanted to get involved. I look at your board of directors and I say those are people. I see a lot of those folks in a number of different organizations across functions, and it seems like it's the same. I'm going to say it's the same 100 people, right, that kind of inhabit almost all of the boards, in town. If somebody wanted to get involved and wanted to do that, what would you recommend for an organization like you to really kind of dig in?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you for your support of our golf outing, because I understand you're a supporter of that, so we appreciate that very much.
It was on one condition, that I didn't have to play. Okay. Because I can't, Anyway.
Don't play well, or don't play at all?
It's miserable. It's a bad look for me all around.
All right. People can get involved any way possible. Certainly on the board, we're looking for more people, dynamic people like yourself, to increase our board,
right,
and kind of revitalize our board in a way. We're also looking for volunteers when we do have a golf outing, or when we do have a letter stuffing campaign or letter writing campaign. They can help volunteer that way. They can certainly talk to their friends, why it's important for them to be involved with 21 Plus, to kind of grow individuals involved with them. Our group homes, when you think about your own home that's been in existence for 20, 30 years, there are needs that take, that catch up after a while. So we have wish lists for our programs. If people go onto our website at www.21plus.org, they can look at a wish list from appliances to small home modifications to large home modifications. As our people get older, we want them to grow in place. Right. So we might need ramps, we might need some other things. So we have a wide variety, whether it's just helping out volunteer, sweat equity, hands, or by people donating their time, donating their money, hooking us up with good vendors that might like to do good work and helping us out. So there's a number of ways.
Now since you've been doing this for some time now, you've also, I'm sure, seen kind of an evolution, or maybe maybe the opposite, of the way that you guys get funded by the government, right?
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
so that's really changed.
Yes.
In the last, especially in the last, I guess, 5 years, right?
Well, yeah, and it's going to change even greater.
Right.
2017 is going to be a new day, so to speak. It's funny because when I worked in Indiana over 20 years ago, the state of Indiana, go figure, was pulling down federal Medicaid funds to support these programs.
Right.
New Jersey had always chose a different way. So, when you look at the state budget, we started in 1979. The group home started in 82, 85. Some of the budgets exist from that time.
Right.
So we're sorely underfunded in some cases because it just hasn't moved with the times.
Right. So let's talk about that when we get back, because I think it's important for people to understand, the model used to be, now it's kind of pay for play kind of thing.
A fee for service,
yeah,
yes.
Fee for service.
Absolutely.
Versus what used to be kind of flat funding.
Correct.
And then I'd also like you to talk about why an organization like yours has a foundation and what that means.
Sure.
Then we'll give you your magic wand.
Okay.
Right? And then we'll tell people the most important thing, where they can find out more and how they can really help.
Yep.
Because as we know, no money, no mission.
Right.
Right. David Verlardo, Executive Director, 21 Plus. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Stay tuned for the news, we hope, and then we'll be back.
Coming up next, the latest from WOBM News, the Town Square, New Jersey News Network, and Fox News Radio. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Live from the Jersey Shore to the world. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 634, Wednesday, September 7th, 70 degrees, getting up to 86 today and raining. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160. Join the conversation. We are now joined in studio by David Verlardo. He is the executive director of 21 Plus, and we were talking before we went away on the break about changes in how you were given funding, and we were talking about how you've gone from kind of flat funding to a fee-for-service. Can you explain what that difference is and what that kind of means to a budget?
Sure. Forever until currently now, we're receiving our funds through the Department of Human Services, Division of Developmental Disabilities. It's a contract reimbursement system. So if you create a group home, a training center, employment program, you tell them how much it costs, how many people you'd like to serve, and basically they give you the money for that. Moving towards a fee-for-service system, they're now looking at each individual, assessing their level of need. So therefore, someone's level of support, considering we've been serving them for 30 years, as people age,
right.
no one's needs are getting any less. They're,
right.
no matter who you are, you get older, you need more. So at this point, it's an exciting time for people because their needs will actually be being addressed in a more accurate form. So now, instead of serving a group of people, we're now going to be looking at, let's just say, Jeremy. What are Jeremy's needs? What is his budget, his level of care? And we're going to design a set of goals and objectives geared towards meeting those needs. And it's going to be a pay-as-you-go system. Have you achieved those objectives or not? And we'll be judged or scored on how well we do. And that'll be, drawing down Medicaid funds. We're now a Medicaid provider to bill the federal government for these services as opposed to getting them directly from New Jersey.
Right.
So in a lot of ways, it's great for the individual. It should be great for our services because, again, as I have some group homes that have been funded since the early 90s that, oh my gosh, the budget is well underfunded. So it should update all of those things. It's just a major transformation because, we need hardware, we need electronic health records,
right.
we need people trained in these systems. So it's tougher, sometimes for these smaller agencies to get ramped up to do it. But we're ready. We're ready.
Right. And isn't one of the other major issues, though, that when you go to a fee-for-service model, you only get taken care of if you actually are providing that service for the individual. I.e., if they don't show up or they're not in service for a day, you
Absolutely.
get less funding.
Yes.
And obviously, like the population that you deal with is one of the least reliable populations there is out there. So it could be super tricky to kind of, and it doesn't change your fixed cost or what you need to do. So,
right.
So there's a lot of kind of a big unknown out there as you head forward, right?
Yep.
Which is why someone like you needs to have a foundation. So explain to me why an organization like 21 Plus needs a foundation versus just being 21 Plus.
Well, we have 21 Plus Inc. that provides the services and their program side, and that's who we are in terms of our actual services. However, 21 Plus Foundation exists solely to help with those funding efforts that are at a deficit with the 21 Plus Inc. side. So when there's a year where we might be building and adding on a new position, to where we needed a family support director for these family support programs we're opening, the foundation was able to give us some seed money to start that program. When we have maintenance needs that New Jersey won't take care of with group homes in terms of maybe cracked sidewalks or driveways or, maintenance needs that are taking place in the home, replacing washers, dryers, everything, New Jersey won't replace those, so the foundation steps in and they can pay for those items.
Cool.
So it's really a means to, first get our word out there in terms of being a charitable organization within Ocean County and, raising funds to support the program side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So upcoming events, anything coming up that we should
just
know about?
came off of our golf outing. As you know, our annual golf outing in July. It was a success, thank goodness. We are upcoming in October, probably our 15th Employee Annual Appreciation Luncheon. That's also supported by the foundation where we have our staff. It's really the only day in the year where we can get all of our staff or almost all of our staff under one roof. We do a ballroom in Toms River Hotel. It's really great because some people, even though they work for 21 Plus, they don't get to see each other because they're working different shifts or whatever. People dress up, they have a great time, but we have longevity awards. We have bonuses for all-star awards. We have family speak on their behalf. So that's like our next major event upcoming, to help retention for staff.
Cool.
So.
All right. David Verlardo, Executive Director, 21 Plus. It's that time where we hand you the magic wand, the pixie dust, the fairy dust, the ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact on the world. David, what are you doing with said wand?
Well, as I keep talking about that, we have budgets that have been underfunded for the last 20-some years. We have not received a meaningful cost of living increase in our contracts for many years. So even though we've been fortunate not to receive a cut in our budget, when the price at the pump goes up, when utility costs go up, when health insurance costs go up, we are forced every year to provide more services with less resources available. We have staff. God love our staff because they go into our homes, they go into our programs, they put their lives on hold. Snowstorms, Hurricane Sandy, they're barely earning a living wage, taking care of some of New Jersey's most vulnerable citizens. Right. So at that point, no longer is some of the local organizations our competition, but now like retail stores,
right.
can hire our staff for equal or maybe more money per hour. And they don't have as much responsibility, perhaps, in those jobs that they would for us taking care of someone. So the magic wand would obviously be to, plug all the deficits, plug all the holes in our budget, making sure staff can have a livable wage to, feel good about what they do. Not that they don't feel good about the impact they make every day, but it would be nice, to have a paycheck that kind of backs up, the effort and the amount of work that they put in.
Right.
So definitely the funding is
very
foremost.
Cool.
So
yeah, no, absolutely, I understand. And it's there's the old adage that you never certainly get rich from working in the nonprofit world,
right.
but it shouldn't be that you're struggling just to make ends meet when you're trying to do the right thing for humanity.
Sure.
It's crazy. It's a as the Kinks once said, it's a mixed up, mumbled up, shook up world, except for Lola. So why don't you give folks the information about where they can get in touch, where they could find out more information, where they could kind of dig in?
Sure. Administrative office phone number is 732-240-3118. Our website, as I said before, is 21plus.org. It's the number 21 followed by the word plus.org. We're on Facebook finally now too, so we're trying to branch out and kind of get in with the rest of the world in terms of access and just being allowed people to reach us. Yeah, that's really it. Those three mediums between
cool.
the web, Facebook, and just calling. We volunteers even at our own site levels. What a lot of our individuals in their lives just would love is to have friends that are just unconditional friends. Not that our staff don't do a great job, their family doesn't do a great job, but they're your family or they're your paid staff. Our individuals would love just to develop friendships in the community. So even if someone just wants to get to know some of our individuals and maybe form a friendship or, be part of a bowling team or whatever, we can, cool. we're looking to enhance our individuals' lives as best we can.
Cool. Well, David, thank you very much for spending some time with us. Congratulations on the promotion. And by all accounts, you're doing a fabulous job. Certainly you're a great representative of the organization. And, look, good luck going forward.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back with more after this.